Have you ever been sitting in a crowded room, like totally surrounded by people, and yet you feel entirely, completely alone? Or maybe you've been lying awake at 2 a.m. just feeling the heavy weight of the quiet around you. Well, welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into a simple, incredibly encouraging truth meant for families, individuals, really anyone seeking a bit of comfort right now. We're looking at the deeply rooted message of the divine presence. The goal to walk you through this beautiful ancient concept so you can walk away feeling a little lighter and a lot less isolated. Section 1, feeling all alone. It really is a universal human experience. So let's just ask it, do you ever feel alone? Because loneliness it's a part of the human condition. It doesn't matter if you're deeply religious, spiritual, or don't hold any particular faith at all. It sneaks up on us during difficult transitions, during moments of grief, or honestly, sometimes on a completely normal Tuesday afternoon. Is that feeling of being disconnected, almost like you're navigating a vast ocean entirely by yourself. Take a second to honestly answer that question for yourself. It's simple, but the comforting core message of our explainer today is designed specifically for those moments when your answer is a heavy yes. See, the foundational truth we're examining is that even when your emotions are screaming that you're entirely isolated, you really aren't. Your feelings of loneliness are valid, absolutely, but they don't represent the full reality. And that reality is that God is actually right there with you. Moving on to section 2, a message of comfort. This is an ancient, reassuring truth. For thousands of years, people have leaned on this ancient truth during their absolute darkest times. It's a concept passed down through generations, whispered to frightened children, and held onto tightly by adults facing insurmountable odds. It's the ultimate antidote to that deep isolation we just talked about. Here it is. God is with you even when you feel alone. It is so incredibly straightforward, but it completely shifts our perspective. What it's telling us is that presence isn't dependent on our feelings. You don't have to feel accompanied to actually be accompanied. It's a gentle, constant reminder that you are always loved, always seen, and always known. Even when the room is totally empty, even when the phone just isn't ringing, that divine presence is an unwavering reality in your life. Now let's look at section 3, like a guiding hand, understanding the unseen presence. Grasping the concept of an unseen presence can be a bit tricky, right? Especially for the younger minds watching to make this idea super accessible for the kids with this right now, or really just the inner child in all of us. Let's look at a simple everyday example. Imagine being a little kid in a dark room at bedtime. The lights go out, the shadows look kind of scary, and suddenly you feel very small and very alone. But then imagine knowing that your loving, fiercely protective parent is sitting right outside that door in the hallway. You can't see them. The room is still pitch dark, but because they are literally just a few feet away keeping watch, the fear just disappears. You can sleep peacefully, just as a child in the dark finds peace knowing a pair in a standing guard just out of sight. You can feel safe knowing the divine presence is always right there with you. You don't need to physically see it to rest in its safety, which brings us to section 4, a moment of prayer, finding peace together. It's one thing to understand this intellectually up in your head, but it's a whole other thing to actually experience the comfort it brings. So let's take a collective pause right now to just anchor this truth in our hearts. Whether you're watching this with your family, in the living room, or maybe you're just watching on your phone by yourself, I invite you to take a deep breath in and let it out. Let these simple words encourage your heart today. Let's say it together. Dear God, thank you for always being with me when the world feels big and I feel small. Thank you for being right outside my door. Help me to remember that I am never truly alone and fill my heart with your warm, peaceful comfort. Thank you for your love. Think of this not as some formal ritual, but really just as a quiet conversation. It's just a few simple words, but repeating them, it can completely reset a troubled mind. Okay, on to section 5. Join our community. Share your faith and comfort. As we wrap up this meditative journey together, I want you to realize that you are surrounded by a community of people who are also seeking comfort in clinging to this exact same truth. Your own feelings of isolation shrink even further when you remember you're part of a much larger family of believers and seekers. So if this warm message brought you or your family a little bit of peace today, drop down to the comment section and simply type amen if you believe God is with you doing. This is a small but really powerful way to say I agree. And honestly, it serves as an encouragement to the next person who watches this explainer and reads your words. It is just a beautiful way to publicly acknowledge that unseen loving presence. As you step back into the flow of your daily life, I want to leave you with this final thought to carry with you. How will remembering this unseen, comforting presence change the way you face your very next challenge? Whether that challenge is a tough day at work, a difficult conversation, or just the quiet stillness of an empty house tonight, how does knowing you have a loving parent right outside the door change your posture? Keep that question in your mind, let the comfort stay in your heart, and remember, you are absolutely never alone. Thanks for learning with me today.